All right. Good evening. Welcome to Shadows of Nox. We are going into another episode of Echoes of the O.S.S. Uh, Today it's titled Smoke and Mirrors, which I'm sure everybody will figure out the reason why as we go through. Um, and I'm going to have everybody go ahead and introduce themselves, starting with Ava.
I am Ava Rogers. I am playing Nora Shea, a cryptographer.
All right. Christina.
I am Cherry Matthews, and I am a songstress, actress, um, slash spy.
I'll go down to Teslan at the moment, so say Vorrt for last. All right. And Vort, you can go ahead and introduce a little bit about your character. We'll get to know him a little bit more once we see him in the game.
I play Rocco Crenshaw. Some call him Wrench. He mechanical engineer that served working on planes in World War II.
Mhm. All right. So where we last were, Nora, you got a cryptic note from Dr. Sommerfeld that asked you to go get the Tome of Ascan from the library at Harvard.
Yes.
Um, he specified that it was also in what's called the Armitage collection at the library,
Yes.
which is a specialized one, even more so than just where the rare books would be kept. So it's a kind of like a tertiary specific collection. Um, from what you know, he checked this book out several times already, and he's at the point where the library's starting to kind of withhold his ability to check it out just because of how many times he's already done it
Mhm.
consecutively. Um, but other than that, he hasn't really given you any other information as far as the book itself or what he wants it for. And Forrest, you were having your meeting with Agent Gleason, your essentially your superior agent that you get direct orders from um, in whatever the organization you are part of is going to be called now, which is still in flux, it seems. But you were last in a gym with him, having a bit of a friendly sparring match, and uh, I mean, it goes pretty well for both of you. I mean, you both kind of provide a decent challenge for each other, but you've known each other long enough that it never gets, you know, too serious or bad or
Mhm.
anything. Right. You kind of know where each other's limits are in that respect. Um, Cherry, you before that, shortly before, had a meeting with Agent Gleason, meeting him for the first time, and he gave you a assignment as your first assignment to be brought into the SSU
Mhm.
as a potential spy
Right.
to track down a suspected Soviet spy in the US named Irving Lerner, who
Right.
just happens to be a director.
Right.
So that's your assignment. And Rocco, I will get to you once you come in.
Sounds good.
So, Forrest, uh, you're in the gym. It's right as the sparring match is done. The two of you are kind of like putting bandages on what wounds you two did, you know, give each other and everything. Getting some ice on other areas and everything, like a
Mhm.
cheek or a shoulder or whatever. And just, continuing your conversation from before. Uh, and Agent Gleason looks over. at you, and after he takes a sip of water. So I have a new assignment for you, if I haven't mentioned that already. I still need you to keep a protective eye on Nora, of course, but I'm also going to need you to watch over Cherry as well, um, which, as I understand, is Nora's sister. But yes, but with Cherry, it's mainly just watching her and make pretty much just report back on the work that she's doing. I recently just gave her first assignment, and I want to have someone kind of assess what it seems like things are doing in the field.
Um, okay, I will. Yep, I will.
Yeah.
I will definitely keep a. Well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She's a little more dangerous than her sister is, isn't she?
Yeah, I'm sure she has some hidden skills that we're still waiting to see, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't get me
I
wrong.
don't think she needs as much protection as Nora might, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah. No, my feeling. I mean, Nora could destroy the world.
Yes.
But it's a big.
I mean, in a
jump.
way, I
It's-
guess you are kind of protecting the world from her sometimes, but
Yeah, but it's a big jump, and she's not gonna
right.
intentionally destroy the world. Why did you describe it one time, when it was those USO girls? Um, Miss Matthews just seems, she just seems dangerous, and I can't quite.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
has like a femme fatale kind of thing
that
going on, doesn't she?
that's the word you used. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like a fatal, like a potentially fatal female. Yes.
Hmm.
Yep. I
Yeah. Which honestly makes me think she might be a good agent.
Yes. Yep. I would not
Um,
argue. I would not argue that.
yeah. So with her, don't let her know. This is supposed to be kept secret from her.
Certainly.
But just shadow the work that she does. Assist her if she happens to ask you for any assistance. Um, but being that you are already there to protect her sister, which she might also go to for help, knowing that her sister does, cryptography and everything.
Okay.
That should be at least an easy enough in for you to be in the same general area, right?
Yes. Yep.
Um,
No. But
do you happen to have any acting skill?
yes.
Hmm.
Yep. I got. Yep. No. I've done that. I've done a little stunt work for some spec stuff.
Okay.
In the area, small uh, art films that they needed somebody. I'm a good writer, and
Mhm.
you know what I'm like with my fists. Um,
Right.
so I'm
Yeah.
good enough with
Use
my
that.
fists not
I'm
to hurt
sure
somebody.
there's a spot in Hollywood for someone like that.
Yeah, no, and I think I think I probably reached the point of amateur, just
Just
because.
pretends he understands what Nora's talking about.
um,
That's probably where he gets some of his acting
yeah,
from, honestly.
no, I ended up. Yeah, no, I've done some stuff with the theater group up on the campus just to give me an excuse to be in the same area as Nora early on.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
So yeah, no,
Yeah.
and
In another context, that would sound really bad. Sounds like a stalker.
Right. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
do you have any questions for me?
no. Well, where's her assignment? Where's Cherry's assignment? Where's Miss Matthews' assignment taking her?
Uh, right now, her assignment was to track down Irving Lerner and try to get close enough to him.
Okay.
and see if he's in fact a Soviet spy or not.
Okay. Does
He was working for the uh, Office of Information for the War, the the people that make the propaganda movies and photos and everything. But he
Hmm.
was caught taking pictures in one of the sites for Project Manhattan that he shouldn't have been taking pictures of.
okay,
It
sir.
seemed as though it was an honest mistake, and there was no harm done necessarily. His pictures were confiscated and he had to resign from his position there. But it's one of the reasons why we suspect that he might have actually been trying to sneak out information.
Okay.
Um,
Does
and he's a
she?
director, so an easy target for Cherry, potentially.
Yes. No. Does she know I'm a potential resource for her to use as I'm an asset,
Um,
or do I need to make contact with her?
I mean, she knows that you meet with me because you two
Yes.
pass
Yes.
by each other
Yes.
conveniently.
Yep. Yes.
So you can always bring that up
Okay.
and reach out to her as a potential resource. Uh, so it's fine if you already know that she essentially works for me in one way or another, but don't let her know you know anything more than that.
Yes, sir. I can do that.
Yeah. And make sure Nora keeps a lid on it as well.
Um, okay. I will. That that's a yes. I know how to. Oh, actually, she's the sister. Yeah. No.
Mhm.
That should be easy enough to get her to keep stuff from each other. Yeah. I'm sure I have a complete handle on it, sir.
All right. Um, well, now you should probably be on your way back, I'm sure. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
had other agents watching Nora, but you know, sometimes it doesn't take long for someone like her to accidentally get into trouble.
No. We. I. Yeah. No. I briefed the guy about the chemistry incident. I briefed the guys before I left about the chemistry incident. So I don't think
Hmm.
there'll be a repeat of that, sir.
That's good.
No, no. And that
Chemistry
one
incident
agent's
is a
eyebrows have burned back,
linguist getting
have
into.
grown back.
Yeah. Some things are way more flammable than other people might assume. But
Uh,
yeah.
All right.
Are you
Thank-
guys at the gym?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
That's what, like a couple blocks from the building that the meeting was in?
Can
Wasn't
I
that
roll
far.
something to say Cherry followed y'all?
Let's see. You can go ahead. Let me take a look at your sheet. It would probably be a stealth roll, honestly.
Okay.
Should I roll spot hidden?
Yeah, and then Forrest and
Yep.
Agent Gleason will be able to do a spot hidden.
Ooh.
I
Ouch.
don't see what I got.
You got a
Is it
hard
bad?
success.
You got a hard success, so that's pretty good.
Ah,
So set the difficulty to hard to see if I spot her.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
so I put a little dot by my stealth, right?
Yes. All right, so Forrest did spot you.
Yep.
Let me see what I get for Agent Gleason. Ah,
Wow. Yeah.
that's
See,
hilarious.
the thing is, I spotted her,
Oh,
Ah,
he didn't.
but he didn't, and I'm not going to say anything. I assume he just
All right.
told her to do so.
So yeah, Cherry, you were able to tail them. Go ahead and give me a psychology roll real quick.
me?
Yes. As far as you can tell, neither one of them have noticed that you're following them.
So, to retcon a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
about the point we started talking about her. I
Mm-hmm.
assume she's probably snuck in and watching us.
Mhm.
Probably at least listening through a doorway
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
I would have said to him in a lower voice,
Mm-hmm.
"You do know she followed us here, right? That was what on your instructions, right?"
What was that?
I would say to him in a low voice, "You
Right.
you do know that she followed us here, right? I assume you meant for her to be
She.
listening to this conversation."
I did. Yes. You want to give me a psychology roll?
Yep, I'll give you a psychology roll. I'm not going to say I'm going to be any good at it.
Right.
I'll
Right.
give you a yeah. See, that's a failure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's normally pretty sharp on these things.
Yep.
So.
So I mean,
Right.
the beauty of it is, if I'd made it, it would mean I could upgrade the skill, but I didn't make
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So, um, oh,
But
okay, sir. Yes, no.
it all depends on how much she actually gets, right?
Yeah.
Just because,
Yeah.
she
She's a
followed us.
woman.
So,
She might not actually hear everything, right?
yeah. Now you'd have to do a listen roll to see how much.
Yeah.
She heard.
Cherry, go ahead and give me a listen check. It'd be a hard listen check. So let's see. Your listen is
You get to listen.
3. Okay. Yep.
Come on, mouse. Why are you hiding? Listen.
The middle column at the
There
top.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So that just means when they started having hushed tones, weren't quite able to make that out.
Okay.
So when they started talking about the fact that you were in fact following them and everything, you weren't quite able to hear that part of the conversation. From what it sounds like to you, either there's just a pause in the conversation, or between drinking water, bandaging wounds, that sort of thing. Doesn't seem to be suspicious.
So when
Like a suspicious gap in conversation.
So when the conversation wound down, I would just say, so Miss Matthews, you can call on me for support. I would say that like clearly and loudly.
Yes, you should definitely let her know that.
No, he would say that out loud. Forrest would say,
and you would hear a very soft shit.
just
you just see this Forrest. You just see this wide smile come over Agent Gleason's face.
She'll step out of the shadow.
I've got to be I've got to catch a flight back to Harvard.
Welcome, Miss Matthews.
But anything you need.
When did you see me?
When
we've been doing this for quite a while.
Yeah.
I don't think you really saw me. I think he saw me.
You can read it however you want. It doesn't bother me any.
Yeah, you and I give her the specific thing of, you stepped out, we walked past, you stepped out behind that thing that blocked our vision, because I saw it from across the I saw your reflection in the store window across the street. So I wasn't actually looking at you when you walked out, but your reflection was visible.
Okay, something to remember. I didn't realize you were so
again.
buddy-buddy.
Sorry, what did she just say? I didn't hear. Who are you talking about as being buddy-buddy? That me and Gleason were buddy? Oh, okay.
She's gonna say, I didn't realize that my sister's hired protector was buddy-buddy with the head of this unit.
Yeah, we served along each other in the war in a couple missions. It's one of the reasons I knew he would make a good agent.
Can you
But
act?
according to him,
I would say I would say yes. I've hit the amateur. It's fair to say I'm an amateur, but yeah, I can with my other skills, rolling on into it with my, you know, my ability to handle weapons and my fists.
Yeah. he can
He's
definitely
gonna
make a convincing fighter too.
Yeah.
she's gonna grab. Can there be like a? We're at a gym, right?
Yeah, it's got like a boxing ring in the center and then equipment around it.
She's gonna grab some kind of stick, something, maybe a dumbbell that's not super heavy.
Mm-hmm.
She's stronger than she looks, and just toss it at him.
Okay, give me a throw roll.
Okay,
Skill there.
back to regular.
Yes.
Where's
Yeah, your strength is
throw?
good enough for what you were grabbing. Yep, right under swim.
Oh, it is alphabetical.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Is it just a
Ooh.
dexterity to grab it out of the air?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and give me a hard dexterity check, just because the throw wasn't the best
great.
necessarily.
She went like this. Ugh.
Oof.
Ugh.
Oh man, that was bad.
So you reach forward to go to grab it, like you're not sure exactly what's going on or anything, but you go to grab it and it falls short before it gets close enough for you to grab it. It's like, I mean, you clearly tried. She, gave it a decent enough toss. It just didn't quite make the distance either of you thought it was going to happen.
Yes, you could be a stuntman. I have an idea.
Okay. All right, well, whatever you need. I can also ride a horse. That I do professionally.
Well, I don't have a horse here, so
Well, no, well, it's New York City. It's not. We'd have to steal one from the Central Park Rangers.
I don't break the law, sir.
Of course.
Well, that anyone knows of.
Right.
Of course.
Anyway, so Miss Matthews, do you have a vehicle that you got here by? Or did you charter a flight?
I flew, but I can get. I know how to fly for free.
How's this?
You'd have to be a girl to know.
Mm.
No.
Well, I know how to fly for free too, but it's called having a pilot on the payroll.
Oh, okay. We could do it that way.
So, if that's the case, I might as well charter both of you back on the same flight back to Boston.
Okay, sure. That'll work.
Got it.
Or
The plane
Cambridge,
that was
rather. Cambridge, Massachusetts.
looking her over. Yes, yeah, that won't go past the weight limit for the plane, sir.
Yeah,
Having
it
her
should
on
be
it.
fine.
He's gonna look at them and be like,
Forrest
idiots.
is completely clueless as to what he just did.
There's still weight limits on planes.
Well, no, he is correct. No, he
Right.
he is correct as to that, but just how dumb it was what he just said to
Right.
She's-
her. He,
Right, yeah. Yeah, not exactly the best thing to say in this
Nope.
social company.
Absolutely not. But he
Well, all right. Well, Agent Flanagan, Miss Matthews, I wish you both the best. Now, if you could please get out of my gym.
yes. Nope, just let me Miss Matthews, if you wanna wait downstairs, I'm gonna go toss on proper traveling clothes and I will meet you
Mhm.
down there.
Oh, and Forrest,
Yes.
when you're in Hollywood, try not to, fall in love with anybody, all right?
Yes, sir.
I think he'll be fine.
All right. Stay away from park benches.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir.
All right. And
He's
he
going to
goes,
turn red,
turns
but
to
it's
walk
okay.
into the locker room and everything to go finish getting changed and everything while you two walk out.
Okay. Yeah, he
Um,
gets changed and then goes down.
Yeah.
Meets her downstairs.
all right.
Um,
There we go.
I thought Ava was holding a cigar. Like, I don't
Oh,
think that's going to
no.
help you feel better.
No, I'm a perfect gentleman, escorting her back to the escorting her
Towards
back to the airport and
yeah,
to the plane.
and a taxi and everything.
Yeah, getting the taxi and
Where are
doing my
my?
best to
Here
know
we
when the
go.
proper
That's
point to ask to offer my hand. He's still a little iffy
right.
on that. It's-
That would be the only option.
What was that?
Well,
Nothing.
back at Harvard, I'm gonna go over to Nora at the moment. You you just recently deciphered that this note that he handed you says Tome of Escon as far as the book he wants you to check out at the library.
Yeah.
And you know it's in the Armitage collection, but that's pretty much it right now. And then, of course, he's also given you some of his math notes that he's being frustrated with and can't seem to figure his way around whatever mistake he did.
Mm.
And just reading his handwriting on it at this point, it's difficult to tell even what he's been trying to write. So
Oh, sorry,
you okay?
swallowed the water wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was happening.
Nope.
It's happening. It's happening.
I know. I was like,
No,
not
I don't
on
think we want that.
camera.
Yeah.
She go
Yeah.
to the library to get the book first, because
Okay.
I'll decipher that mess later.
Okay. You head over to the library, to the Widener Library, which main floor library and everything. It's this very tall, square building on the outside. It looks more like a museum on the outside than your typical library. But you go in, go ahead and give me a library use roll to figure out where the Armitage collection is being kept.
Yeet.
All right.
Hey, a
Success.
success. We don't see too many of those in this game.
You are pretty
I told
certain.
you, I warned you. My Saturday morning game went really, like, I was getting 2s and 3 successes in a Shadowrun game, like, all day.
That's awful.
I'm
You are
due for some
pretty
good
sure
luck.
that it's in the labyrinth area that's essentially under the library. There's an underground part of the library that connects to some of the other libraries on campus, and it's miles of facility with shelves and shelves of books and everything. Most of them, sometimes it's extra books than the ones that they have on the main shelves. Other times it's just ones that nobody checks out anymore, but they still keep, in their catalog.
Mm.
And you know that given the size that's down there and how long you'd probably be searching for something like this, not knowing exactly where the Armitage collection is, you should probably check with the librarian as
Yep.
far as where the Armitage collection is.
Fair
And
enough.
you're likely aware that just mentioning that collection might get like a curious stare from the librarian, but yeah, you're at least prepared to deal with that, right?
Nora doesn't care.
Yeah. So yeah, you find a decent librarian and everything at the moment that seems to be organizing some of the books on a cart that they're about to take out. like, hello, can I help you?
I'm looking for the Armitage collection.
Um,
No preamble, no hello.
right. Okay.
I'm here for your bike, your
Um,
boots, and your clothes.
I'm not familiar with that collection. Who are you?
Nora Shea?
Do you have identification?
Yes, here.
Okay. What kind of identification do you hand them? I'm assuming
Look,
for the school and everything,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Not just like your general identification
yeah.
or
No,
whatnot.
no,
Yeah,
no. Her
yeah.
school
All right.
ID, whatever
Yeah.
that
He
is.
looks at it and everything. Goes like, "All right, here you go, Miss Shea. Let me go try to find that for you. See if whatever this is." And he walks over to where he's got a binder and everything, and he starts flipping through to try to find where the Armitage collection is, and goes like, okay. Gets a piece of notebook paper and kind of writes down basic like turn left here, turn right here directions once you get down into the labyrinth area, and then hands it to you and goes like, this is the best that I really got to give you. And he labels so that you can at least follow some of the signs down there
Mm.
to find it. So it's decent enough, but he's not looking to show you exactly where it is. That's for sure.
It's fine. I'll probably find it faster without
All
him
right.
showing me. Yeah.
All right. As you head down into the labyrinth, uh, your steps echo throughout the entire area. The lights are good enough to where you can see where you are and what's going on, but it isn't necessarily bright lighting.
Mm.
Go ahead and give me a spot hidden check as you're looking for the signs and the right spots to turn and everything.
Ooh.
Extreme success. Nice.
Wow. We've never
So,
seen one
I
of
told you.
those.
I told you I was due
Right.
for good luck today.
Yeah. So, you are, heading through and everything. You're following the directions and everything. There's a couple spots that even you pick out that is like, this direction's wrong. It's this way. And
Mm-hmm.
like,
Told you I could find it
like
faster
he
without him showing me
wrote
the
down the
way.
right sign, but said to go in a direction that's to a wall
Mm.
rather than the actual right direction, or correct one, I should say. But as you're walking,
She's like making corrections to the directions as she follows them.
you're pretty sure you catch something out of the corner of your eye that makes you feel as though you're not the only person down here right now.
It's a library.
Right. You keep heading on.
Yeah.
All right. As you get closer to the area, you see there's somebody kind of stationed at a small desk right before this little alcove that opens up to a doorway. And there's a little plaque on the front of the desk that says the Armitage Collection. And this person just there reading a book. Looks like it's probably another intern somewhere in the school, similar to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just sitting there reading whatever uh, textbook that she's pretty much trying to study from. She doesn't even notice you walk up.
Trying to think if no, she would. Okay, I'm still getting into Nora's headspace, so I'm trying to
Hmm.
figure out would she ask if this girl knows where it's at, or just try and locate it herself. But then I think about it, she would take the more expedient route, and asking the intern is probably faster.
Hmm.
Uh, so Nora stops like in front of the desk and she'll like tap on the top of the desk with like two fingers,
Hmm.
just tap,
Oh,
get her attention.
my apologies. Can I help you?
I'm looking for the Tome of Askin.
The Tome of Asking?
Askon.
Oh,
Askon.
oh, do you need in the collection then?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Uh, can I see your ID?
Yes.
Just need to make sure you. Yeah, okay, you work here. That's fine. And hands it back to you. Goes over, unlocks the door to the collection, opens it, and actually hands you two just white cotton gloves.
Hmm.
Like, make sure to, of course, to handle everything with care. I mean, if you're asking for one of the tomes in here, I'm sure you know what you're doing.
Yes.
Go ahead and give me a listen check.
I'm
All
going
right.
to use some luck and make that a success.
Okay.
Oop, that's
Uh,
not the button I meant to push. I need to go to edit mode first.
right, yeah. The
That would
door
be
creaks
4
open.
luck.
It's clear the door doesn't get opened all that often, right?
Uh-huh.
The even just the small conversation that you two had, they're kind of echoes from the room itself. And you feel as though you hear footsteps. You can't tell if they were coming from inside the collection or inside the stacks that you just came from. With how the sound kind of played in here,
Yeah, I
you're
don't
not
think
quite
she'd think
sure.
anything of it.
Okay.
It's my job to normally think of stuff like that.
Right.
This is the best way to play a Call of Cthulhu character. Shrug
Right.
everything
Just like,
off.
it's fine.
I have plenty of paranoia for the both of us, so
Right.
Nora's pretty singular focus. She's here to get a book. She's gonna get the book.
Yeah, so you head in.
Unless something of scientific curiosity happens.
Right. Yeah, it's got a little button switch on the wall as you walk in to activate the light in
Okay.
here, which kind of slowly flickers on. Uh, Definitely takes a little bit longer to warm up since it doesn't get used all that often either. And let's see, 1, 2, 3. And in here, it's kind of just general, kind of shorter wooden shelves along both sides of the room. The room's not necessarily all that big. Like the intern could probably like watch everything you're doing through the little window on the doorway
Mhm.
into this area pretty easily. But there's 9 books from what you can tell in here. A lot of them look
Hmm.
generally leather bound. There are a couple that kind of are at the end, closest to you, facing you on the wooden shelves that stand out to you. The one is titled "Devils and Demons in Miskatonic Valley," and the other is notes. Let's see. Yeah, notes toward a bibliography of world occultism, mysticism, and magic. And they seem to be stationed in there different from the other books in the sense that they're almost like, I guess, the equivalent of figurehead books
Hmm.
for the collection itself.
Could you give me that
Uh,
second one again?
yeah, it's quite a long title.
Yeah.
Notes toward a bibliography of world occultism, mysticism, and magic. And each of the books has a card next to them that looks like it has additional information on the book. Not all the books necessarily have the title along the spine. In
Mhm.
fact, one of the books in the collection, well, let's see, well, 2 of them. in the collection look to be bound in some sort of leather that you're not familiar with.
Hmm.
One of those seems to have some sort of gold trim to it in some way. And one of the books appears as though the spine of the book is made from an hourglass. So it's like half of an hourglass with black sand in it. That all the sand's at the bottom of that hourglass.
Hmm. Honestly, I think she'd take a closer look at the notes toward a bibliography. That one,
Hmm. Okay. Looking at
because
the card,
yeah,
that one says it's by Dr. Henry Armitage, which thus the collection, you're pretty sure.
yeah.
From 1927. It's in English, and it's on loan from Miskatonic University since 1939.
I feel like she's gonna spend some time down here. She wants to skim
Mhm.
through this a little bit.
That sounds about right, and given her interests in languages and interesting things, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's got some knowledge of the occult already,
Right.
so
Yeah.
like this is up her alley
Yeah.
as far as like personal interests go.
Right. Let's see. You have, yeah. All right. Any of the other books that you want to check out? Like as you go along, do you try to see what the other titles are, at
Oh
least
yeah.
based on the cards and everything? Okay.
Oh, definitely.
So to go through them, other than the two figurehead books, there's one that's Cryptomenesis Pedifacta, um, which I believe,
Gesundheit?
right, yeah. I believe that's essentially, the title itself is essentially in Latin, but it means, essentially means the art of secret information disclosed without a key.
Ooh.
According to the card, it's a book from 1685 in English about cryptography. And some of the things it includes are like Egyptian hieroglyphs and what it calls finger spelling, which is
Mm.
essentially American Sign Language,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
just what it was referred to back
I feel like she might check this one out for personal for
then.
personal interest.
Right. Um, and I'm just going through in alphabetical order. So
Yeah.
there's another one, D. Furtivus Litterium Notus, which is, of course, another Latin title, uh, standing for On the Secret Symbols of Letters. Another book about cryptography.
Ah,
This one's from 1563 in Latin. Doesn't really say much else about the book on the card.
how much Latin does she know? Oh, I'm gonna need to brush
And
up on
the
my
cards do
feet.
include the author of these, but
Mhm.
their names aren't necessarily specific
Yeah,
to the
that's fine.
game at the moment, right? Um, Another one is a name in French, which was that one of the ones you mentioned?
Yes, I have
Yes,
a 30
yes.
in French.
Go ahead and give me a French roll to try to decipher this. I mean, you're decent enough in Latin, I believe, that deciphering the
9.
other languages. Actually,
That's
you're
hard
technically
success
better
in
in
that.
French than Latin, but I
Yeah.
guess I gave you the Latin ones as a freebie. Uh, anyways, you got this one. It's titled Destinies of the Soul. Um, and it's from 1879. The book's in French and is supposedly bound in human skin.
Oh,
Let's
interesting.
see.
Isn't
It
that special?
was It was
No.
gifted to Harvard in 1934 from a Dr. Ludovic Bouland.
Never trust the Germans.
Let's see. Next one, other than the Devils and Demons in Miskatonic Valley, which you know of.
Mhm.
Let's see. This one is German, which you're fluent in, I believe. So
Yeah, basically.
I would butcher the German pronunciation of this, I'm sure. So the translation is Things of the Water. It says author is unknown, but it's translated by Dr. Heinrich Arnold Krumheller. 1913. It's written in German, and the only other notation it has on the card is the original book first appeared in northern Germany around 400 AD.
Ooh.
It was added into this collection in 1942.
Interesting. Does it have a note on what it was translated from?
It does not.
Okay. Interesting.
There is another book that's in German again, but is Cryptology, an instruction book on the art of secret writing by Johann Ludwig Klubler from 1809. And that the card mentions that it was donated to this collection by Dr. Hans Sommerfeld in 1942. Which is when you know he started, when he first came to this country, pretty much.
Hmm.
So it very well might be a book he had on him when he was essentially handing over every bit of German secrets that he could to the American government.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. I know the list is a little long, but all right. Next one in alphabetical order is Tome of Escan. You can go ahead and give me a German roll. Because the word Escan is actually Proto-Germanic.
Success.
Yes, it essentially is Tome of Ashes. This is the book that has the hourglass as part of the binding, it seems.
Okay.
The book itself doesn't have an actual title written on it in any way or any words on the outside. It's completely black. The pages, the cover all seem to be completely black.
Interesting.
The only color is from the there's kind of a series of crystals on the cover of the book itself. See if I can find my notes on that. Can I have it? I cannot at the moment. I'm sure I will find it during our break so I can give you an idea of exactly what the symbol looks like.
Yeah.
And the number of crystals and everything that are on it. But after that book, or at least the rest of the information on that book I should go into, is also author unknown. It's dated to about 1650 BCE. Is annotated as being in a couple languages, from ancient Egyptian to Arabic to French and German. It doesn't really have anything after that other than it was added to the collection in 1942. And then the last book in the collection is the Necronomicon.
Oh, naturally.
The author is Abdul el-Hazred, but translated by Alaus Wormius in 1228, and it's in Latin. It is currently on loan from Miskatonic University from 1939. And this one also seems like it's bound in human flesh, or from what you can tell, and what's annotated on the card.
All right.
Yeah. And with that, I think that is a good moment to go to break and let you figure out what you're going to do in this room full of creepy books.
Some
Do what
might
she
call them
always
creepy.
does.
Right.
Read them and try and end the world.
Right.
What are we gonna do tonight, Brian?
Exactly.
Try not to die.
See you in Den, folks.
All right.
Thanks for sticking around, folks.
Yeah, welcome back. So now we will all get into a little bit more detail on the Tome of Ascan, now that I have finally found my notes on what this cover
Yay!
kind of looks like. So the cover itself it takes a while for you to see. But even though it initially didn't seem like it had writing of any kind that you knew of on the front, since it's all in black and everything, you really kind of have to hold it up to the light the right way, and you can tell that there are symbols in a circle on it. You're not quite sure what those symbols are, but they circle around a triangular angular shape in the center that has 7 different colored stones or gems of some kind. The colors, from what you can tell, is one of the gems is in black, so you can tell like it's a gem different from the rest of the book, but it's black itself. And then there's a purple one, a blue one. There's 2 yellow ones, a red one, and a green one. And each of those different gems appears to have its own different glyph or symbol. It's not etched into the gem. It seems as though the symbol itself is naturally formed within the gem itself. And all that circles in the center is a perfect circular mirror in the cover of the book. So go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll.
Ooh, hard success.
All right.
Werewolf.
So you take a look at this mirror. It seems as though it's not like a completely smooth, flat mirror.
Hmm.
It's kind of got some sort of geometric structure to it, like the mirror is made out of a stone somehow itself, rather than a typical mirror that you're used to.
Hmm.
But it does feel flat and smooth, and like you can of course see your reflection in it, and of the room around you and everything. And for a moment, you feel as though you see something move behind you on the mirror. Then you look and everything in the room, and you're the only one in there. And you're pretty sure it might have just been the way the light reflected off of the mirror
Yeah.
itself.
Interesting.
Yeah. The book does feel kind of lighter than you thought it would.
Hmm.
It's decently sturdy from what you can feel, but it, for one, the size that is, because it's about 2 inches thick, probably about 14 inches long by like 9 wide or so.
Hmm.
So it's a decent sized book, and it does have some weight to it, but it's not quite as heavy as you would initially expect. You also do notice that as you pick up the book and everything, the black sand that seems to be in the hourglass part of it
Mm.
doesn't move at all.
Okay.
Like if you shift the book, the sand doesn't shift or move or anything, but it's all just kind of stationary in there.
Okay.
The hourglass itself also has a similar geometric pattern to the structure of it that makes it look as though it's made out of the similar stone that the mirror is. And it's not like normal glass, essentially, that it's made out of.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, that's the Tomb of Iscan. Or the Tome of Ashes. The Tome of Iscan. I just said tomb, didn't I?
Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
The Tome of Iscan. Yeah.
We
Our
forgive
evil
you.
plan has been
Right.
achieved.
I know. I've been infected by Tom's mispronunciations of words.
The ultimate goal of getting
Okay.
Ava to say,
Right, the ultimate goal.
of getting Ava to say, irregardless is still a ways away, but
Never. You will never hear me say that word.
Why?
almost.
I hate it. It is
Oh.
the biggest pet peeve of mine. It's not a. It's got
No
two
worries.
prefixes that mean the exact same thing.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay.
Someone say something else quick.
Okay.
Thankfully, um, just seeing these tomes in the room itself, these different books, you know, obviously some of these are mythos related, but thankfully none of them cost any sanity right now.
Mm.
So,
Yet.
right. So Nora's okay for the moment.
Yeah.
One other thing that I do want to mention with the book is it does have kind of similar to one of the other ones that has a decorative gold trim to it. This one does as well. So actually, aside from everything else being pretty much black on it, the edges have this kind of decorative gold trim to it
Okay.
that it's done in a way that it's not like flattened forged metal as gold and trim. It's kind of done almost in like a small kind of veiny uh, vine work that kind of works along the edge of the book across the whole thing, kind of like somehow the metal itself grew across the outside edges of the book.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you do while you're sitting here in this room just full of, as I'm sure Nora thinks right now, wonderful things to
Hmm.
read and look into?
Kind of surprised they let people actually remove these books from.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you're wearing your gloves and everything
Oh
while
yeah.
you're looking at all
Oh
these,
yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. Apparently you
3
can
different books
check
on
any of these
cryptography
books
down
out.
here.
I know, right? There's multiple of them. Go ahead and give me. Yeah, this would probably be a library use, honestly,
Okay.
from the different cards and everything.
Ooh. I'm gonna let that one just be a failure.
Okay. Yeah. So you notice a lot of the books, various ones of them came into the collection in different times, different years, and everything. But it does look as though the Armitage collection itself was formed or made at this university in 1939, and that a bulk of these books were either just organized in other collections before they made their way over into this one, or they're on loan directly from Miskatonic University or added after 1939.
Right.
And of course, one of the books was directly donated from Dr. Sommerfeld.
Yeah.
So, which it does kind of stand out to you that, that would essentially mean that he had this book in his possession when he came over to the States, and it's a book on cryptography.
Yeah.
As far as you know, cryptography is more of a hobby for him.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that this was donated by him does seem a little odd to you from what you've picked up of him so far.
I think she might take that one out for
Okay.
yeah.
Um, so I'm assuming, of course, you're checking out the Tome of Iskan.
Yeah, yeah.
So you'll take
The
the
German cryptography
the
book.
German cryptology book, one of them, anyways. And one
I think that's
thing.
the only cryptology one or cryptography one in German. The other one
Let's
was Latin
see.
and one in English.
Yes, one in Latin, one in English. Yes. Yeah,
I
that's
take
right. The other
detailed notes.
German one was just a really
Things of the
old, weird
Water.
book. Yeah. Um, One thing that also does stand out to Nora is if the Tome of Escan has ancient Egyptian in it,
Mm-hmm.
um, then the English book on cryptography includes how to decipher Egyptian hieroglyphs within it.
Oh, interesting.
So it occurs to Nora that it might be a good idea to check that one out as well,
Bloop. Yeah, add it
just
to my.
because it would help you figure out
Yeah.
what's in the other one, right?
And it's best to concentrate all the evil books in one small area.
Yeah, right. And
That's not going to happen. There's
I
going
have
to
a
be more
feeling
evil
this isn't
books.
going to be her last trip down to this
right.
collection.
And the little cards for each one of these on the back, it kind of has, similar to other books that you check out from the library, right? It has who checked them out previously.
Mm-hmm.
The one on the German one on cryptology or cryptography, both words, same thing, uh, was never really checked out before since it's been donated.
It's
So
only been a few
you
years.
would be
Yeah.
the first person to check it out.
Nice.
In the 3 years that it's been in here.
Yeah.
There's been a couple other people since the couple years that the English book on cryptography has been in here, the one that deciphers Egyptian.
Mm-hmm.
But and the Tome of Iskan, since it's been here, it's been checked out about 6 times from Dr. Sommerfeld. Kind of consecutively since he started here in 1944. And based on the dates and everything and your knowledge of when he actually started here, it seems like almost the same week when he came here, he checked this book out. And he's been trying to do so almost as often as he could since then.
Okay.
And no one else has really checked it out.
What do I know about how he wound up here as a teacher? Or
He came
professor?
over to the States. He was, from what you know,
Yeah, I know he was a former Nazi scientist. He
right,
worked
a
on and
begrudged
asked to be
Nazi
removed.
scientist. He
Yeah,
supposedly didn't want to
unwilling.
do any of what the Nazis forced him to do.
And he was asked to. I know he worked on the Manhattan Project and
Yep.
was asked to be removed.
He asked to be
Yes.
removed.
Yeah.
From what you know, it seems that he was starting to feel the same amount of guilt
Yeah.
that he was feeling from the Nazi projects on what Project Manhattan could do.
But
So he
does she
didn't want
have?
to be part of it
Do I
anymore.
have any knowledge of how he wound up teaching here?
He asked to be assigned here as a
Okay.
professor.
Okay. That makes this book of extra interest
Yeah.
to. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
One other
Okay.
thing that stands out to you now that you've kind of pieced that together is the book that he donated on cryptography in 1942.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the only book that was donated in 1942.
I noticed that. I
Yeah.
noticed that.
One of the other books from 1942 was the Tome of Ascan,
Yep.
which, if
Yep.
he's checked it out multiple times, you're curious on whether or not it was also one of the books he had with him when he came over to the States.
Yeah.
And
I noticed that
then,
you didn't tell me. It didn't say who it was. If
right.
it was donated.
And the other book that was from here in 1942 is the only other book in German.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
Okay.
you feel as though it's likely that that was also a book that he had on his possession.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other things you notice is the amount of times Tome of Ascan has been checked out is the exact number of times that Dr. Sommerfeld's name is on the English Book of Cryptography that includes how to decipher Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
So it seems like he's pretty much had the same thought Nora had of, well, hey, just get both of these. One can help me read the other. So
Mm-hmm. But he didn't ask me to pull.
no,
Okay.
he just wanted this one,
Right.
the Tome of Ascan.
Right.
Um, and you're not sure why it's labeled as being in 4 different languages. The most that you can assume is that different chapters are in different languages for one reason or another. So
Right.
maybe he already has notes on all of the Egyptian
Yeah,
chapters.
that's possible. Yeah.
Um, yeah. All right. Is that all you do with the collection at the moment? What,
Yeah.
3
At the
books
moment. Yeah.
that you check out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And then what do you do on your way out?
Just leave.
Okay. Do you turn the gloves back in, or do you keep them, or?
She'd pass the gloves, just basically set them on the desk for the.
All right. After that, they don't. She checks the books out to you right there at her desk rather than the
Mm,
main one.
that makes
Uh,
sense. Yeah.
and then, you know, goes over a whole spiel of the proper care and how to keep the books and everything. And then gives a little
I have a
fabric,
dehumidifier.
tote
Blah
bag,
blah.
and everything to carry the books in and everything.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
And-
the regular blood sacrifices have to be done in a
Right.
specific way.
Yeah. And just make sure you use some of your own gloves. Tandem, they don't have to be specifically cotton ones, but just to make sure you don't get, of course, the oils from your hands on them. And, goes through that whole thing, which I'm sure Nora drowns out because, like, yes, I know,
Mhm.
I know.
Mhm.
And then, you know, adds your name onto the little index card with a date for each one of the books, uh, logs it in her little book behind the counter in the system, essentially, and then lets you check them out. And then from there, you just head on out.
Yep. Back to
Good,
office.
and give me another listen check on your way out from the labyrinth area of the bowels of the library.
That's a critical success.
Wow. All right. So as you're walking out and everything, like
Not as lost in
your
her thoughts as
footsteps,
someone might assume.
right, are make sure to mark that. That's
Oh
probably
yeah, I
in
did.
advance, man.
Mm.
You hear your footsteps echo, amongst the catacombs of this library, essentially, and you easily start picking out that there's another set of footsteps, not too far away from you, that sound as though they're trying to match your footsteps.
Okay.
Which is not easy.
And
because
you're
you can't
Probably
pretty
really-
gets
sure
like
they're coming from
oh,
behind you.
there's probably like this quick, like short little flashback to something that Forrest has told her at some point.
Mhm.
And so she just gets that brief, almost like flash in the pan paranoia that's like,
Mm-hmm.
who the fuck is following me? Forrest isn't
Right.
here. Because I'm assuming she's aware that Forrest is
Yeah.
away. She
Yeah.
knows
And
that
there's
they're
other
supposed
agents
yeah.
that are supposed to be keeping an eye on you, but
But they
you,
wouldn't
you
be trying to hide their
right. They
presence
haven't
from
really
me
introduced
if this
themselves
was one
either.
of
Yeah.
them.
And they wouldn't hide themselves from you.
So
Yeah. I'm
catching
pretty sure
those
they stayed in their
footsteps,
car outside of the library.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Nora's going to just to like double check, suddenly stop as if some book or
Mm-hmm.
other that she passes, like the title of it, like it catches her attention or something, to try and see what the owner of those footsteps does, how they react.
Okay. Go ahead and give me. What would that be?
I don't
Trying
even
to
know what I'm.
think. Right. Yeah. I mean, you are trying to trick them into making
Yeah.
them think that you didn't notice them, right?
Yeah.
So one thing,
Not
surprisingly,
really
there isn't
stealth.
really
Yeah.
not really sleight of hand. There's not a
Right.
there's not a trickery or
Go ahead and give me a dexterity check.
yeah.
That's the best thing I can think of to see if you're able to be coordinated enough to make it seem like it was on purpose, right?
No.
Mhm.
Not a
Okay.
failure, and I could buy that to a success with luck.
Okay. And other than
Uh,
luck, you could also push rolls, right?
Yeah.
Which means you can re-roll it, and then if you fail, it's just a worse failure. But
you know what? I'll push this one.
okay. All right. Nice.
Squeaked by on that.
Right.
Oh
Wow.
Just
boy.
barely. Um. All right. So yeah, you stop and everything, and you hear the footsteps kind of stutter a little bit behind you, and stop just like a second later than you
Mhm.
did, and then after a little bit while you stand there, you hear them start to move again, and they start getting a little louder.
Alright, she's gonna,
Yeah.
see, check who it is.
All right. You look behind you, and let's see.
Oh,
Is
shit,
this the right?
I haven't done that.
Nope. Nope.
You
Nope. Nope.
alright?
Nope.
I was realizing I don't have a character description.
Oh, okay.
Like, son of a-
Nice.
All I heard was the F word, and I was like,
Right, here we go.
"Uh-oh."
Here we go. This sounds right. Yeah, so you look behind you and you see a man in kind of a very nondescript looking suit that is just cowering behind you and walking towards you seemingly with purpose. It doesn't seem like he cares much about whether or not you notice that he's there. And given his size, you can tell that he's easily taller than Forrest and fairly bulky. He does not look
Okay.
like he's there to mean you anything good.
Hmm.
And then for a moment, as you see him walk towards you, footsteps getting louder and louder, you blink and there's no one there.
No, I do have some description.
But you start hearing those footsteps again start picking up, and you see the same guy again come from around a corner of the
I'm-
stacks and look at you and start walking towards you again.
Deja vu.
What do? You can go ahead and give me a sanity roll.
That sounds appropriate. How does this work?
You should be able to just click sanity. Although, actually, yeah, you have to write.
You have to edit
Yeah.
and fill it out first.
Yeah, 85 on there. Yeah,
Let's go ahead and do those.
Yeah,
Forgot
sorry.
to do those.
Keep hitting the
and
wrong
then
button there.
edit, and then click it. Yeah. Ooh.
Really? I failed an 85!
Wow.
Woo.
Ouch.
You know what? I feel like letting that one roll
Yeah.
for the first sanity roll of the game.
Right?
I'm just gonna
That's
let
pretty
that
good,
failure sit.
It's
All right.
man.
After being in that room with those books, I feel like that might,
Yeah,
even for
yeah.
someone like
No,
her.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. You don't know you were
Um,
completely
alright.
completely creeped out. You just didn't know you were completely creeped out.
Yeah. But no, you don't know why or how necessarily that you're seeing the same thing again, but you do know you're scared. You're
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's
All
see.
you
Did
want to
she have
do
a-
is just not be here right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip a coin, see if she has a flight or freeze response. Now, which is what? Let's see. Red is flight, black is freeze.
All
Oh
right.
no, she got a freeze.
Oh. All right. So
So I
you're
picture it
sitting
like
there. Yeah.
like basically well, like a deer in headlights is actually the
Right.
perfect, like, it's staring up at this guy,
Mm-hmm.
kind of back pressing into like the stack, trying, like, almost like she's trying to melt into the bookshelves, the shelving.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a D6 roll.
All of a sudden, that song
One.
G6 started
Alright.
playing in my head.
So your sanity goes down by 1.
Okay.
So the overall effect, not too bad. But in the immediate moment, you're pushing against the books and everything. You actually, a couple of them fall out and hit the ground as you're pushing against the stack itself. And he's just walking towards you with even more of a purpose. You see him actually pull out a set of brass knuckles from a pocket and puts them on each of his hands as he's walking towards you.
Oh no, she's gonna bolt at that. That gets past the freeze and she's just gonna bolt.
She's
Alright.
done.
She's not a
Alright.
fighter. Forrest isn't here. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Then we go into a chase. Then yeah, let's see. It's combat. Chases. What's your movement?
Where's that
I think it's in
at?
combat is where it does it. Although
Yes,
it doesn't
movement. Well,
have
that's where
that
it's
there.
tracked. But let me
I
see
don't
what
have
the
anything in that. How is that? What is that determined by?
Main character. I want to say it's determined by dex and size. I'll have to take a look
Yeah,
at
that sounds about
the
right.
book itself.
Okay, that one, the quick reference.
Mythos, and equipment.
Let's see. Okay, if both strength and dex are each greater than size, move is 9. I think that is
Yes.
true for. Wait, hold
Strength.
on. What did I literally just said it. I forgot. Strength and dex.
Strength and
Yeah,
dexterity
I'm
are
so
both bigger than
small.
size. Yeah, so your movement right here, I'll go into edit mode.
Okay.
And your movement is 9. You are a quick little thing.
I better
Which
be.
is
I'm not
real
very
helpful right
strong.
now. Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I got going for me is my
Run,
speed.
run.
Yeah. Now that we're looking at this though, what is build? Does everybody have a build of 1, and do you only get a build of 1 if your size is big enough? Here we go. Some build. Strength plus size. Yeah. Your build is 0. Yeah, okay. That's right.
That tracks.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So yeah. So you dart off.
Yeah.
He
Pulls out
starts
the brass knuckles.
chasing after you and everything.
Yeah.
You can hear how heavy his feet hit the ground as he's running after you due to
Wow.
his size. You start hearing your own heartbeat and everything kind of jump up in your throat as you hit the stairwell, try to climb out of this area of the library. And your speed is thankfully quite a bit faster than his. And you are able to get out of the library, where Vorrt, you
What might?
were assigned by Agent Gleason, your superior, essentially, as one of the temporary agents for the moment to watch over Nora while Agent Finnegan? I feel like I'm getting that name wrong now. Flanagan was called in for a
Flanagan,
meeting.
something like that.
So you are currently stationed with another rather novice agent in the car outside the library where you were observing and trying to keep an eye on Nora. And you knew she walked in the library and everything seemed fine. You didn't see anybody else tailing her or doing anything suspicious, but now you see her running out of the library in terror. What do you do?
Towards or away from where we're parked?
Kind of towards where you park, but you know it's not because that's where you're parked. She's just trying to get
Right.
out of the library in whatever way she can.
I'll step out of the car, open a door for the back seat, and just yell to Miss Shea. It's like, Miss Shea, to Nora, Miss Shea, over here. Your car's ready.
Beeline.
All right. Yeah, you see this gentleman step out, and you recognize the similar kind of. What does your character look like? I'm assuming you're in a very similar dress to like the other agent you're with and everything, but
I am very nondescript. Like I have like the closest thing to that, just because I don't have much in the way of appearance and everything like that, is I do have some. My hair is raven black, like my mother's, but I am dull. I just look dull. It's not like
yeah,
I'm trying to look dull.
yeah,
It's not like I'm trying to use
yeah.
this to my advantage.
Just a very bland looking look.
I'll say
Description wise, could be anybody kind of thing,
yeah,
right?
I am absolutely
Yeah.
anybody. I have a inexpensive suit that just blends in the background, common made, not tailored, off the rack kind of thing, or maybe not. Some of it's tailor made, but not much. Like again, it's I'm not going to a specialized tailor. I went to the guy that can crank out 5 suits a day kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So Nora, you see someone you
average
definitely
height,
easily
average
recognize as an
build.
agent.
Yeah.
You see the same kind of car that you see them all pretty much in any of the time that there's other agents having to watch over you, and you just make a beeline right for the car.
Yes.
Uh,
And she like scrambles in, even as she's trying to check and see if that man is still following.
All right, go ahead and both you and Rocco give me a spot hidden check. Nice. So, Rocco, you look back. You don't see exactly like what she was running from specifically. Nora, you do like you you can see exactly where the guy's standing to the side of one of the doorways, and from what you can tell, even though the lighting and everything, it's hard for you to make out detail. He's just glaring in your general direction, and he's not leaving the library at the moment. Rocco
Okay.
eventually, like, you're able to pick out kind of the basic silhouette, the fact that you're like, all right, you're pretty sure someone's standing there in the doorway, but then you kind of lose track of where it is, and you don't really get much detail other than it was a decently large person.
I'll close the door and be like, I'll get myself settled back in. It's like, everything all right? Find what you need?
Yes, yes. I got
Mhm.
what I came for, yes.
All right.
The novice agent looks over towards you, Rocco, and goes, "Agent,
She's still she has
do
her eyes
I
have
drive
not
away?"
moved from that
Yeah, let's
guy.
do it.
She's still staring out the window
Let's
like
head on out. We'll get.
Okay.
What time of day is it?
Right now it's probably late afternoon. Like, it's not necessarily all that dark
Yeah, that's
out,
all I need.
but
Late
yeah.
afternoon's fine. Yeah, head over to. I'll give it the name of a cafe. It's like, yeah, let's go get a afternoon snack. We'll something before dinner later.
And Nora, you have this image of that very large man just kind of ingrained into your mind.
that's exactly what she was trying to do so that she can
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that she has any I don't think she has any skills like with drawing, but
Right. But yeah, now you find yourself in a car with two other strange gentlemen that you've never known except up until this point. But you do recognize based on how they act, how they dress, and everything that these are at least people that are in the same agency that Forrest is from.
right, yeah.
That helps kind of calm you down a little bit.
So I guess when they're out of sight and she can't see the guy anymore by the library,
Mhm.
she like leans back, closes her eyes, and takes some very intentional deep breaths to try and calm her
Mhm.
heart that is still racing.
Yeah, yeah, and it takes a good while. By the time you get to the cafe that the agents are driving you to, it's lowered by a decent amount, but it's still definitely going faster than your normal resting heart rate. Uh,
I
Rocco,
think
what do
by
you?
that point she's like pulled out like a small like a notepad or something.
Mhm.
This she definitely
Yeah.
carries one fucking
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
definitely.
And a pen, and she started writing down just the description of the guy, this tall, this
Mhm.
everything that she can.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm sure you are going to pass this, but
Don't
this is
say
what
that.
is used for memory in situations like this.
Mm.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence roll.
Oh, that's. I mean, I could fail it.
Right. There's a chance, but yeah. But yeah,
If it was
it's
anything
very
but
ingrained.
intelligence.
You might not get every last little detail, but it's definitely easily enough for someone to get a good picture enough to recognize this guy if they saw him again.
The hell?
So Rocco, what do you do once you get to this cafe?
I will look to the rookie agents. Like, all right, let them know. Go check in. Let them know where we're at.
Mhm.
And I'll ask Miss Shea to join me inside and be like, here, come, let's go get a cup of tea and a in my head, yeah, scone. I chose a British influence cafe. Listen, my family's weird. Italian and British, they both like tea, but what they serve with the tea gets a little contentious. So
Is Rocco stating this to Nora as they go in, or
yeah, it would be like that. He doesn't have social graces. Like he wouldn't know not to just like.
it's
This
all
restaurant's
just
good.
outer
Okay, neither
monologue
does-
at this point? Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Neither does Nora.
So go. Let's get you in. Clear something. Yeah, a little something, and let's just get you calm down.
Do you want me to just stay here and watch the car?
Yeah, stay here,
Right,
watch the car,
right.
but see if you can find a phone and call in.
Yes, sir. And you see he heads off to one of the nearby buildings or whatnot right by where you're parked. And I'm not sure if they would have they would probably have a radio in the car, if anything.
Yeah,
in the
think
fifties,
so.
whatever would be
radio.
thematically
Yeah,
appropriate.
yeah. So it's 45, but I think it's close enough. So he's going to use the radio in the car to do so.
Get a table, make sure there's an open seat, so if the guy decides to come in, the other agent decides to come in, he's got at least got a place to sit. Can't be rude.
All right.
But I'll get her. We'll sit down and place a generic order, and then I'll just say, like, by the way, so first off, player question: am I an actual agent?
Yes.
Okay.
You are in the same organization effectively
Okay.
that
We
Nora
didn't.
and Forrest are in.
We said I was assigned, but we didn't cover I was an agent, so I just wanted to make sure.
Right. Yeah.
At least you currently
so, yeah,
are,
it's like-
because you did let her go in there by herself.
So
I was not told to follow her in the library.
Right. Yeah. Protection detail isn't exactly what he's normally there for, right? But
yeah. So I'll introduce myself like I'm Agent Rocco Crenshaw. You can call me Rocco if you wish.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Say part of the backup team while Agent Flanagan is not around. He's used to just saying, well, people are not around without caring about titles. And that's about as far as I know. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing here. By the way, as he's doing this, by the way, he is consistently looking you in the eye. Like it's not. He's
trying. She does not make eye contact.
Well, yeah, he's trying. He's not trying to intimidate or do anything about it. It's just he just has this thing where he constantly looks at people's eyes as he's talking to them. Like he's always
Nora's
looking
the
into their eyes.
exact opposite type of socially awkward.
Right. Nora's constantly looking away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now when she's only like half present for the conversation, because
Mhm.
like after that, and she's gone through and written her description of this guy, and she's going over everything that she brushed off on her way to the collection, and those the movements she saw, the other footsteps that she just passed up. It's a library. There's other people around. Now she's thinking over everything that she brushed off before and going, how long was I being followed?
And you're also like, when you're playing through everything in your mind, part of you feels as though that deja vu feeling moment that happened, you feel as though that pretty much is what gave you the chance, the time to be able to run. Whatever happened, however it happened, it feels to you as though it saved you in a way.
Okay.
But, there's no way that you can figure out to logically explain
Yeah.
or why or anything. You're just
Right.
grateful for the fact that it did. Forrest and Cherry, while you were on the flight back to Cambridge, the radio, over the radio and everything of the plane, comes a message for Forrest, essentially quickly briefing him on the situation of what's going on at Harvard with Nora.
Great.
That things seem to be okay, but she was spooked by someone. And the basic description the radio has at the moment is some large person.
I'm gonna say
'Cause it was the novice agent that was relaying it,
Yeah.
and that's about all he really mentioned.
Jerry would sit there
She
quietly.
said large.
Is that what you say back over the radio?
Yeah, she said large, correct?
That was the report.
Just okay.
Yeah, you're not talking to the junior agent himself.
Okay, I'm talking. It's getting relayed.
Someone relaying the information to you, like an operator.
Okay, so I should be
And
at this point.
They tell you which cafe that they're stopped at.
Okay.
At the moment.
So we haven't. Okay, so have we landed yet, or?
Shortly after that, you do land.
Okay.
They're probably at the cafe currently, still.
Okay.
By the time you would land, because you got that over the radio right as you're taxiing in.
Yep. So I would have asked for a auto to be sent to me for temporary use at the airport.
All right.
And have it ready for me before I land. And then let me know if you want me to roll driving as I speed through to get to the cafe.
And you both land. The pilot this time during your trip was almost the exact same way he was on your way out.
Yep.
Pretty much no conversation whatsoever.
Right.
Like he seems to fly the plane as if the passengers aren't really even there.
Nice.
Consummate professional.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when you land, there's a car stationed just off to the side of the runway and everything by a spot in the gate for the strip that you can get in and kind of take off.
Okay. I would, so I would help Miss Matthews down quickly, grabbing whatever stuff she has to make sure that we get to the car quickly. Put it in, grab the keys, tell the other agent that's standing there by the what?
He does. Here you are, sir.
Yep. Help me get the door for Miss Matt. Get the door for the lady.
And helps it. It's evident to you this isn't an agent part of your organization. It's just whatever car delivery guy.
Okay. All right. Yep.
They contracted, right?
Yep. No. So
he has no knowledge of what you two do or what's going on. He's just there. He sees you're in a hurry. That's all he's got.
Mm-hmm. He's the valet.
As quick as he can. Yeah, he's pretty much just a valet.
Yep.
So what kind of role would it be to try and draw this guy from memory?
It would probably be a craft roll in arts, craft one. So if you don't have any, which it doesn't look like you have.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't think your character would be all that skilled in drawing. I'm trying to see if there's anything else you have that would kind of translate. And really, most of the time when you're doing anything on paper, it's words or math.
Yeah.
Right.
If you break it down to geometry,
Yeah, like
and go through.
basic geometric shapes is about the best that you might
if
be
you'd
able to
gone
do.
through and like because I mean a lot of times the art lessons are learning
Right.
it based on a series of things, but if she's
Yeah,
put that
like you could
together or
probably
not,
draw like an oval for the head, a basic other,
yeah.
shape for the torso and everything, and things would be in the general relative size to each other, but it's just basic shapes, right?
Yeah, she's probably in like the next page in her notebook after the written description is like a half. It's like an aborted beginning of, and she starts trying to like do the features on the face, and then it's just scribbled out. She's like,
Get in the car immediately, try and take off fast, pop the clutch, and it just stalls out because I try and take off too fast. Just
Perry will say, "Do you need me to drive?"
at which point
Did you roll twice?
I rolled twice. That was the first time was the failure, me basically stalling out.
Okay, gotcha.
Nope, I
Yeah,
got
you
this.
stall it out.
and
Smoke
pushed
starts
it.
coming from the engine and everything with it.
Yep, no, and then I take off hard.
Okay.
Nope, just
Yeah, you definitely burned through a little bit of extra oil or whatnot that you weren't really supposed to.
The
But
clutch is in rough shape by the time I'm done.
yeah.
By the time I pull up, in front of the
And about how
thing,
tall are you, Forrest?
I am above,
So,
slightly above average.
mhm.
Like a 65 is average, so I'm just a little
70.
bit. Yeah, I'm 70, so it's a little bit. Yeah,
About the same general size Rocco is, actually.
probably. I think I figured him out. I
Anthony.
think he's a little bit taller and leaner, but yeah.
Yeah, so what, about 6'2"?
Yeah, that's about right.
Right.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
actually that's what we figured out. It was
Right. Okay. So, Nora, as you're drawing this and everything, go ahead and give me a mathematics roll, because that's essentially what you're trying to base the drawing off of.
Yeah. Success.
All right. So, you estimate whoever this guy is to be maybe 7'6"
Good
and
God.
about 300 pounds, maybe a bit more, but he was big.
I knew a kid who was 7 foot tall. Well, I say kid, he was probably in his 20s when I knew him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's big.
Yeah. Which is another thing that you
7'6",
can
holy shit.
pretty much add to the description for people to pick him out. Is like he's a very
Hard to
well-built
miss.
basketball player from what you can tell, right? Yeah. Yeah. Guy belongs in a circus, probably.
So I've obviously never seen him before.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Would have recognized him.
Nope.
What ethnicity was he?
He had kind of pale skin, but very dark hair, kind of an angular face, despite the fact that he was very broad in the shoulders. His eyes were kind of sunken a little bit. No facial hair or anything.
Okay.
Other than that, he did seem well groomed enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like he was disheveled or unkempt or anything.
Makes sense. All right.
And yeah, so you peel off, you get over to the cafe. Rocco and Nora, I'm assuming you're still there, of course. Seems like everything's been safe. You haven't spotted any suspicious activity since that incident. The other agent is still just waiting out in the car, and eventually another car kind of peels in.
I finally gotten my heart under control.
Right. And outlaw.
It took two
Forrest.
scones and an eclair.
Right. And Nora, you also see that your sister, Cherry, steps out of the car.
Okay.
He's wearing one of those big. Best way to describe it is a hat like Carmen Sandiego. You know those
Okay, yeah.
big Hollywood hats with like a big feather. And she'll just look up underneath and just smile at you like a nod.
Let's see.
Wait, you two are actually playing sisters this time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and for Vort's reference, because I know he wasn't here last week.
Right.
To get a picture of Nora. Nora is like 4'9", maybe 4'10" on a good day, and 100 pounds soaking wet.
And older than Cherry.
Yeah.
She's 25. Okay.
Cherry's 20
Yeah.
How
and
old
not
is...
short.
Yeah, I think Rocco is actually the oldest now at 28.
Yeah.
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 Playing a young group. Damn.
Right.
The benefits of being a college student fresh out of the war, I guess.
Pretty much.
Well, graduate. I'm not a student. I'm
Yeah.
a graduate. I got my goddamn degree.
I did too. I'm just back for my master's.
Burst through the door.
Yeah.
Make a beeline over to her.
All right.
If he bursts in the door, I do jump up from the table, a little, you know, like prepared to interpose.
And like you recognize from the picture in the file that this is her typical, handler, as the file says.
Right, but again, that initial, we just she had been talking. She mentioned the guy. I'm assuming she would have mentioned the guy that threatened her in the library, or at least said somebody there.
Yeah.
So,
and this guy's the same size as you.
So here a door clang open, and I don't get a chance to identify a head.
Yeah.
Nora, that last little bit of tension that Nora didn't even realize was still in her shoulders, just kind of releases as soon as she sees Forrest.
Make my way over
Rocco,
to
give
her.
me a listen check.
Put ignore Rocco and grab a chair and sit down. You all right?
The audacity.
We need to update
Rocco,
the instructions that are given to the temporary
give me a listen check.
security. I think.
They didn't. Okay. How did somebody get to you?
By the way, tell me ahead of time, because I keep forgetting to ask if I need to switch it to hard, extreme, verbose, whatever.
Right, yeah. No, regular was fine for this. You, Rocco, you hear somebody groan from somewhere. Like they're clearly in pain of some kind. But you look around, you don't see where that came from necessarily.
Who ate the special? No.
Nobody else hears that in any way. Yeah.
Not sure. At least from the library. I was getting a book for Sommerfeld and was approached on my way out. But I might have been followed at... I brushed off a few things that might have been him following me before I made it to the collection.
But
I'm sure.
And the tail and the one that went into the library with you didn't pick up on him either? And that's at that point, it's directed to both of them.
Yeah. Rocco and the other agent didn't see anybody enter the library.
I know they didn't, but no, this is a question. the one that went into the library with you didn't pick up on
right.
this?
The way it's phrased.
That's
As
a good
I
question.
said, we need to update the instructions.
Okay. All right.
He was asking me questions. I was assuming with the distracted nature, or with how well I rolled for those things. I'm
Right,
a little distracted.
Yeah,
on
you're
the,
definitely distracted. Like you heard that groan. You still kind of hear it every once in a while, but you cannot figure out where it's coming from.
Is there something more important, Agent?
questions that you and I did not cover, Andrew, before I
Mhm.
answer this question.
Yeah.
From player. Am I reporting to Tom's character?
He's not your superior in any way. He's essentially on the same hierarchy level that you are.
He's just bigger.
But yeah,
He's
Yeah,
madder.
yeah, but
he's just
Our
upset. at the
primary
moment, right?
guard.
Yeah.
I'm just checking before I make responses because
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be deferential to a degree.
But I mean, you
gotta
both
change
are
it.
superior to the junior agent that's still out in the car.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
I just look,
Where did Cherry go?
She's just standing against a wall watching this all.
I'll say I'll look back to Tom, to Flanagan, and just look him in his eye. It's like, nah, nothing to worry about there, Flanagan. That's how he talks to people on the same level as him.
Right.
Keep hearing a weird noise is all.
okay. Well, at that point, then, I would take a moment then and listen carefully.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a listen check. And
Wow.
Rocco, I'll let
Same.
you do another listen as well. Yeah, you can all give
Same.
me listen checks. We'll see.
All of us?
Yeah.
Fucking paranoid at this point.
Right.
Somebody.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
All right. Hey. There we go.
Hey, I got lower.
Somebody's on the ball at
I'll say,
least.
if you look at how my
Oh.
rolls have gone this evening, I have been
Yeah.
very high.
Well, I mean,
rolls.
and I think part of it though is to remember is like we
Hilarious.
didn't. It
I can't
doesn't.
even see what I rolled.
We
You
You
rolled
rolled
a
a
two.
2,
Yeah.
Two.
You
Failing
got
Oh.
in
extreme
Cthulhu
success.
doesn't.
which is an extreme success.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
does-
low is good in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure to mark a dot next to listen. for
But I've
yourself
already
if you
used
haven't
it.
done
Do you get
already.
a double dot?
No, you don't get a double dot,
Oh.
sadly.
I
but
want
yeah,
double
yeah.
dots.
So yeah, you all
Not me.
are trying to listen as well as you can. Rocco, you still every once in a while hear that groan, but just can't figure out where it is. Nora and Forrest, you don't hear it. Cherry, you don't hear a groan. You hear like the wind every once in a while. You're pretty sure the agent in the car is listening to music on the radio, but trying to keep it low
Mm-hmm.
so as not to disturb anything. And the car you drove in on is definitely making probably not a good noise every once in a while. But that's about it. You know, a couple sounds behind the desk where they're serving the coffee and scones and everything.
She will say, "What is your name, sir?"
To me,
Yeah.
Rocco Crenshaw. Feel free to call me
Nice
Rocco.
to meet you. I am Cherry. You can call me Cherry. I think we might be hearing the air between your ears since you let my sister get in trouble. Is that what we hear?
I feel like that might be a good moment to call it for the night,
I
actually.
think that's probably a good moment to call it. Yeah. No,
On that note.
Before
I mean-
Christina and I no longer are friends with my responses.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
hey, we're equals. You're on your own, buddy. All right.
Right.
I believe.
So yeah, anybody got anything else coming up this
I-
week that you want to mention or
I
anything?
believe this week Isabeth is going to be doing Blades in the Dark on this channel.
Yes.
And keep an eye on our social media channels. Take a look to spot that. She's going to do a couple one shots because Power Rangers is off. Then on Thursday, I'm going to be on Gen Con TV with another episode of Emerald Glitch, where the runners try to get back home and try not to kill each other. Because there is something untoward in their midst that they don't realize yet. That's what we've got going on. I think I won't be here next week, so I know we'll probably be off. I'll be at Gen Con, or on my way to Gen Con, or at Gen Con, Origins. So we'll be off next week, and I believe we're off on Sunday also next week. So probably the next time we'll be back on will be on the probably the 24th. I should be back in time in the area
Yes.
for that.
So we are out for 2 weeks. Got it.
Yes.
So what is the date we'll be back?
The 24th.
Week after the 24th.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So next week we're off, and then we're back on.
Okay.
That covers us.
Oh,
Anybody else
so-
got anything they want to plug?
Let's see. Are we still doing Cthulhu this coming Sunday?
No, we took this was taken off.
That one's off too. That's right.
Yep. So,
Awesome. Then no,
all right.
about it. So
All right. Thank you very much.
thank you
Andrew.
all
This was
for
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you all for playing,
Oh.
and I hope things are getting nice, fun, and exciting for you. I want to thank everyone for watching and sticking with us a little bit past our normal end time. And I hope that we see you all again when we start back up on the 24th, you said?
24th.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Thank you all.
Good night.